Hi.
And welcome to the inaugural Beat Drop podcast. My name is GSD, and I am here with Fortuna, Sinistar, and Cloves. And we're going to be speaking today about Ableton Live 10.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so there is a whole bunch of new features in Ableton. I'm an Ableton user. You're an Ableton user.
I sure am, yeah.
What is the...
I use Renoise, but I do use Ableton Live Intro to work with. So.
Intro.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Crystal, you're also
Ableton.
Ableton.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to start at the top with the feature sets that have been added to the new version of Live. This is very exciting. How often does a new Live come out? Every...
Well, God, like the last one was probably like 5 years ago,
Okay.
maybe?
Yeah, it's been a while for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But usually before it's been like every 2 years, and now they just...
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, it used to be like every year, and then it was like every 2 years, and now this last one was 5 years.
Oh.
So, yeah, I don't know, they're slowing down, but I think it's good because they're giving you more features halfway through. Like when they did 9.5, 9.7, they gave you a lot of new stuff, like new devices,
Yeah.
new filters and whatnot. So, yeah, so I'm excited for the upgrade.
Has anybody already upgraded?
Me.
No,
have-
I'm on the latest for intro, so
Mm.
yeah.
I'm still on the latest 9, unfortunately.
I think I'm on 9.3.
Whoa.
Kidding.
Oh,
Kidding.
quick
Kidding.
humble
Jokes.
brag because I
Where
have
do
the.
you work?
Yeah, what's up?
You look where you work. I mean, you know.
Oh. Yeah, I have intro because I was like one of the early testers for the push.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
You were a
so
big tester.
Ableton. Yeah, it was like
Nice.
Ableton sent me a push to try out for a few months.
Push
Like,
one?
It was like 20. Yeah, push one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 2013 or something like
Wow.
that.
Did they let
A while
you keep
ago.
it?
What's up?
Did they let you keep it?
No, I had to send it back.
Aw. Man.
Thanks. Ableton.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, thanks guys. But I got to mess with it for a bit, got
Yeah, yeah,
familiar,
yeah.
so
It's
it
exciting.
was good.
though. Yeah,
And then
awesome.
I went to other people's houses and messed with them, so
yeah.
that worked out.
But it still wasn't enough to get you to move over to Live full time.
It was enough. I was just pretty much deep in Renoise. I was
very
like,
deep in
I
Renoise.
just learned it, and I was just getting really good at it. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm just gonna stick with this. But you can rewire with Ableton
Yeah.
That's
and
really cool.
Renoise.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, if time comes, if I need to get a push again, yeah, that'll be good.
So what do you use? You use Live Intro for... What do you use it for?
I use it if I do like studio mixes, if I do if I need to do an edit in under
Right,
2
okay.
hours or something, if I'm like, I heard this tune, I need to make something out of this, I rewire it with Renoise.
Okay.
And then pretty much, if for those that don't know, rewiring is basically a protocol that allows you to use two separate DAWs or digital audio workstations with each other. So
Sending audio and MIDI from one
And MIDI, yeah.
yes,
to another one.
to another.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I basically set that up and then work on my edit really quickly.
And do you use it for collaborative things as well? Like if you're working with somebody else, are you moving into Ableton?
I usually just have them send stems, but if I am working in Ableton and everything's pretty much elaborate, I think for Ableton intro, I think you could only do up to
8 or 16
8 or
maybe?
16 or something.
Something like
I think
that,
they
yeah.
upped it to 16. It was 8
Yeah, yeah.
before.
Okay.
But yeah, they you can basically switch all of that into Renoise, and I use these extra stems, honestly.
Interesting.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
just wave files, just send me track everything out, just send it to me.
Right,
and
yeah.
chop it up in there. But
That's cool.
I just kind of thought of this before we talk about what is included in the new update. Let's talk about for a minute what we were hoping was going to be in the new update.
Trick question.
good one.
Crystal, let's start with you.
I might have to come back because this is a trick question. I have to think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
ooh, good question. How about you, Gabe?
Well, I do use Ableton basically every day. So there's there's a lot of things I struggle with. I'll go with one first that I think affects a lot of instrumentalists and vocalists recording hardware or recording vocals. You know, like anything with a microphone or external interfaces. You can't do multiple takes for your performance. You just have to redo it and chop it up later.
It's one huge long audio clip.
Yeah.
You drag it out and you're like, here's my 50 takes that I
Yeah. So if you're in session view, you can record over and over and just like loop it 50 times.
Yeah.
But there's other softwares like Logic and like even I don't know Pro Tools, even Reaper, like Renoise. They do I believe they do like comping, so you can kind of like you can do different takes and you can like chop a clip and then you're like, hey, for this phrase, let's do take 1. For this take, do take 3, and this I don't know. It's really nice and quick to look at, and like sometimes it's color coded, so you can just see which takes worked really well.
Yeah.
Ableton doesn't have that. It still doesn't.
Renoise doesn't.
Yeah.
Actually.
Spoiler.
No?
Still doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, Renoise actually doesn't. Like you just hit it has a recording window and then you just pretty much go.
But I feel like you can get a plugin or something for Renoise because it's so open source, right?
Yeah, you can get all that stuff with it.
Yeah.
But,
Somebody's hacked it.
Somebody must have done it. Yeah.
hacked. It's collusion. They were colluding with stuff. No? All right. I'm in the wrong country. So, yeah, basically you could like record. You just do one take and then just record everything down the line, and then go from there. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, it's like it'd be nice to have the multiple instances where you can just
done into Pro Tools for sessions, and it's
it saves so much time.
It's a dream.
Yeah. So that's a big one for me. Anyone else?
Anything else off the top of your heads that you were like, this is really frustrating for me? I really wish that they would do this.
I'm glad they added groups within groups, though.
Oh,
For me, I was very
that was a big
happy.
one. Yeah, that was a big one for me. Yeah.
Coming from Cubase, when I switched over to Ableton, almost exclusively full time, that was one of my has been one of my huge frustrations is subgroups. So now that that's a thing, I'm just like
yeah. I can't believe it took them this long though, because they have this this thing where you can group racks within racks and drum racks within drum racks, but you could never do the tracks, and it's like, come on, guys.
It seems so basic.
And they had the I don't know, the architecture set up for instruments, but the audio is just like kind of lacking. But
I think like for me, this is my second DAW that I've learned. Is this your first, or did you just use something else primarily?
I started on Reaper. Okay. Well, I mean, I really started on my iPhone, like, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, something like that.
What program?
And I was using Nano Studio.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a 16-track sequencer. Yeah. It's super fun, and that got me into music production, and then we needed something cheap, so I picked up Reaper.
Okay.
But then I was like, this is not... I feel like this is not how electronic music is made.
Okay.
Not in Reaper. I don't know. It was just so difficult.
It's good for scoring, but dance music is like...
it was pretty tedious. Yeah. I know some people still do it, but it's like, it's a lot of work. And Ableton, became a main pretty quickly. So.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used everything.
Yeah.
Literally everything. I started Fruity Loops. Into Reason to Logic, and then I was like rewiring Logic, Reason, and Ableton at one point.
Gosh.
Can you do 3 DAWs? Like,
Rewire just lets you chain and chain and chain for as long as you actually need to.
Interesting.
So,
crazy.
Yeah, because Reason is essentially a synth rack, right?
Yeah.
So you can treat that as a synth rack or drum rack, and then you can write your tune in Reason and then have Logic or whatever. Okay. You can do an Ableton as well, so you can have Logic and Ableton together. So depending on what type of mixer you want to use, a lot of people chain it.
Yes.
Because they want to get a better mixer.
Yeah. I want to use my Logic mixer. I want to use MIDI editing in Ableton and go into my Logic mixer, but I want to use these racks in Reason.
I know people that use Ableton and use Fruity Loops mixer.
Yeah.
Fruity Loops mixer is phenomenal.
It's
like it is
really advanced.
Absolutely like it's very good. It's really good, but Ableton is good too. But it's a good thing. But it's nice to actually like have that capability to move things around.
Okay.
And 2, let's be clear, if they didn't want to support it, they wouldn't have rewire functionality.
Totally.
So. That's true. Yeah.
And Crystal, was there Did you start with Ableton? Was this the first thing?
I didn't actually.
Okay.
I got a MacBook for one of my birthdays, and I actually fooled around with GarageBand. It was free, so
Oh yeah.
yeah, it was free, and that's when I started to fall in love with music production and electronic beats, even though they were really cheesy sounding. Just like, hey, this is how this works. That's how that's supposed to sound. And then eventually, I had a friend show me Ableton. I think it was like Ableton like 5 or 6 at the time.
Okay.
Sweet.
Like really, really old. And I picked up my first copy of Ableton in Vancouver, actually, at Tom Lee's.
Oh,
in
wow.
the box. It was like Ableton like 5 or something like that.
Oh.
And I've been faithful ever since.
You've been a long-time user.
Yeah.
Long-time user, yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm not like super crazy technical like Gabe here.
How,
He's like nerd technical.
Yeah.
how long were you using GarageBand?
Oh, maybe like 2 years, 3 years.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mastered it at the time, but they've changed it quite a bit now. It's
Yeah.
like GarageBand on steroids, so
Yeah.
now. So,
Yeah, I've played around with GarageBand lately. It's
Yeah, it's
it's
gotten
gotten
better.
so much better. It
Way
sounds
better.
better. It's more
Yeah.
flexible. Yeah, it's great.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, so
Sweet.
we've talked about some things we wanted, our pasts,
Or pass.
our
Talk
lo-
about your
our-
past.
Or
Our
it's
long-
dark, yeah.
our
dark
long,
past.
dark daw pasts,
Fruity Loops, nah!
and for Jeremy present.
Yeah.
So-
Throwback. It's Throwback Thursday every day.
It's Friday, actually. Feedback, no.
Feedback.
No.
Follow back Friday. No.
Follow back Friday.
Fall back Friday.
Flashback Friday.
Flashback
Flashback
Friday.
Friday?
There we
Mm,
Yeah.
Flashback Friday.
Flashback Friday. Every day.
So let's get into what's new with Live 10. The first thing that is probably getting the most amount of press, I guess, is the new Wavetable Synth.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Now, Gabe, you have been beta testing.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little, have you been using the Wavetable Synth at all?
I've programmed a lot of sounds in it.
Okay.
But I haven't recorded with them in songs.
'Kay.
Which is interesting.
So you've
but-
just been doing some patch editing.
Yeah,
and stuff.
like it sounds beautiful. Just lots of if you haven't seen it yet, like the interface is like this
Yeah.
big blown up like waveform editor thing. It's like nothing like we've ever seen before in Ableton. I really hope they bring that kind of interface to analog and operator. Just blow
Okay.
everything up and make it nice and big.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, but it's like a wavetable synthesizer. So it's sort of like Massive or Serum. You get lots of really interesting timbres. There's lots of cool modulation. It's good for bass, pads, leads, anything like super digital and new. But like I don't know. There's also effects to get it more analog sounding as well. A bit of a CPU hog. So if you use a lot of them, yeah, it kind of adds up. It sounds great though, and I wish I would have been using it more. Like I've only used it in one song that I've actually put out.
Okay.
So I should kind of look at those presets again and make a song.
We're gonna be having some fresh new beat drop videos about the Wavetable Synth.
New content.
Yeah.
Some fresh new dank content.
Yeah.
For
have
the
you
YouTube
guys
channel.
heard it in it at all? The Wavetable stuff?
Just only in like the promo videos that Ableton has
Oh,
put out.
Yeah, I've only seen that one.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any previous history using wavetable synthesis? Like, I'm sure nobody has a PPG, but like any sort of Waldorf synths or anything like that?
No.
Do you? I have the Neve app for
Okay.
iPad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it has a full wavetable. It has a 3D wavetable.
Yeah.
on it.
Okay.
That was fun.
Yeah, I need to actually like fire that up again because I mean, once you set up your iPad, you can have like MIDI capability on it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you can basically, have everything set up like that, and just scroll through the waves, and you can record like out everything, and
Yeah.
it's really really nice.
It's interesting. Like, I'm really curious. I found it a little surprising when that was announced. They're like, new wavetable synth. I was like, okay, this
Yeah.
is a little odd. People want good virtual analogs, and these things that's what's kind of been popular.
Yeah.
So to go, hey, here's wavetable. I'm really curious if
Yeah.
we're gonna start noticing a lot of it in production.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
When
happening
Ableton
now.
adds-
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
totally
I think-
happening now.
I should say like the wave forms you get with it
Yeah.
are really interesting.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
you
they're,
obviously
they're different too. Like this
Yeah.
stuff I never really work with
Yeah.
quite often normally.
You
Yeah.
can dump anything in there, right?
You can,
Like, you can throw anything you'd like
I
in there.
don't think so.
No?
I don't believe so because
Okay.
I think I looked it up and I was trying to do it and you can't. but at least it comes with like hundreds of sounds and they're all categorized.
If that is
But-
doable, please correct us in the comments below.
Yeah. But what I was gonna say is that a lot of wavetable synthesizers, they come with like really funky stuff, like really interesting sounds and timbres. But wavetable comes with obviously all the synthy stuff, but it also comes with kind of orchestral sounds, like pianos and like I think there's like a glockenspiel kind of thing, and you just like
Finally.
That's what you're missing in your songs, Dan.
Been waiting for that.
The glockenspiel,
Wavetable.
Don't forget your harpsichord.
There's all kinds of vocals
Yep.
and choirs, and it's interesting because then you can start playing with that, layering it with basses, layering it with chords and whatnot, and you get cool sounds because you're modulating all these waveforms together.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's very interesting. I'm excited
Yeah.
to dive into that and just see what Ableton's take on that is.
Yeah.
All the bass music kids are dancing in their seats right now. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, all the neuro bass and future bass guys,
Yeah, 100%. So.
All right, let's move on to the next thing, which is the echo effects, which is an analog modeled and digital delay, correct, I believe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've also played with this.
That I use every day now, like in everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you compare it to something?
Yeah, does it model itself after anything?
Yeah, like
Those are classic modeling models
so you can get
for
those.
models to model with.
Yes, Roland
Model
Space
while you
Echo.
model.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
really
if you're
cool.
into
Sweet.
yeah
Really cool.
old tape echoes and stuff like that, there's a lot of sounds you can get just like it. It's got built-in saturation and all this stuff, and like modulation, tape wobble,
Okay.
warble as well. Or something. No. There's like
Okay.
a bunch of weird stuff in there, and it's beautiful. It sounds great, and there's a built-in reverb. I basically replaced my ping pong delay that I usually have on my return tracks.
It's like the
And I
default Ableton ping pong.
No, well, it's pretty default, but like Ableton normally defaults a simple delay on your
Yep.
return. I changed it to a ping pong at one point, and now it's just an echo, the
Okay.
new echo. It's really good, yeah.
And
Yeah.
are you guys using anything similar? Do you have your here's my Space Echo style delay unit that you're using?
I honestly just use just a simple delay,
Yeah.
just tweak to whatever I want it to sound like. Not so much space echo kind of sound, but
Yeah.
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 You mean in Ableton?
Just in general, like
Okay.
anything that you're using. Like,
I
I'm
use
curious
the-
if this might be something that would replace something that you're already using.
Yeah. So I use the Waves H delay
Okay.
a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
that used to
I
be- yeah.
Absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Like I swear by that. VST, like
Yeah.
Been
no
using it
tomorrow.
for 6 years.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
incredible.
Forever.
It's absolutely
Yeah.
incredible because you can mess with the actual. You don't have to set up a send.
Yeah.
To get the get to EQ basically the echo, the feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just adjust everything. You can adjust the lows and the highs and all of that straight in there.
And the interface is
That's
so
really cool.
simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
it's
definitely have
stupid simple. Yeah.
I definitely have delays that sound better,
Yeah.
but it's just so easy.
Yeah. It's
The ease of use
it's
is so
super easy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get one up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
H delay
yeah.
on
It's-
Waves.
it's a good
is
one, yeah.
like perfect.
That's one of the reasons I'm excited about this, just because obviously the Ableton interface for these types of things is so, they have it so dialed in.
Yeah.
Right.
And you have your 4 or 5 knobs. Here it is. Boom.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, they also did a lot of nice visual, I don't know, feedback
Yeah.
stuff, you know?
Okay.
Like with Wavetable and Echo and, well, Pedal not so much, we'll talk about that later, but yeah, Echo and Wavetable have really cool visual interfaces
Okay.
where you can just, I don't know, it's just like another way to interact with your sound and dial something in. With Wavetable, you definitely get a lot more feedback when you're playing notes. You can just see things happening.
Yeah.
And it's not, I don't know, it's just nice. It
Correct.
feels professional, you know? So.
That's what we're excited about.
Mm-hmm.
Ableton coming into the world of professionalism.
Yeah.
Yay, Ableton. Yay.
The next thing, and I'm just reading this in order, literally, of what Ableton has on their website,
Do it.
is the drum bus. So
Oh.
it's basically a drum compressor with some
Distortion
decay,
kind of thing.
distortion.
Yeah.
Is
It's
this
got all
ex-
kinds of cool things.
Is this exciting for anyone?
I would probably use it on a daily basis if I could.
Okay.
You
I'm
need
not
to.
on 10 yet.
Yeah.
I will soon, hopefully.
It's gonna
But-
go into your rack though, your drum rack. Like,
Oh yeah, totally. Like I like the
Seriously, yeah.
distorted sounds and make it sound raw and just like, the dark techno, like oomph, oomph,
Yeah.
oomph, and that's
Yeah.
just something I love, so I can't wait to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds enjoyable. Yeah,
It's
yeah, it sounds like something I would be into. You know,
I was listening to a little bit on the Ableton website, and I was like, okay, until I have that $800 or $900 Canadian to buy an analog heat Electron,
God.
like this might be able to
Yeah.
ease my want just a little bit until I
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
spend that money. Decide to spend that money on that. It's a drum bus. It's
great.
super useful. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've used it already.
I
Yes.
used it like pretty much every track now.
Okay.
I'll just some drums will have it, some drums won't, but yeah.
Did it replace something else, or is this like something
Yeah.
that you've added? Okay.
No, so that's the interesting part. Like you were able to get a lot of these sounds before,
Yes.
but you would have to use like a glue compressor and a saturator and I don't know,
Yeah,
maybe
you
an
set all that
EQ
up.
and
It's just
yes.
a lot of
you have to
building,
make
building.
you'd make your own racks
a lot
and
of CPU.
yeah,
Mm,
your
that's right.
CPU, yeah. But now you have one thing, and it's like, oh, I need to bump up my kick, and you can actually tune and tell it like, okay, my song's in D and my kick drum's in D, so I
There's
know
a
I can.
tuner in it too.
Yeah, it's
because
like
you can drum tune every one of your
you
sounds
can
in your drum rack.
It's more aimed for like toms or kicks,
'Kay.
so like low frequency stuff, but you can add boom to your
'Kay.
sounds.
Oh wow.
So it's like just low end and drive. The compression is pretty cool too. Just all nicely packaged in one
Simplification.
device. Yeah.
Ableton. Yeah.
So,
Like cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So next up we have the pedal effect, which is basically a virtual multi-effect guitar pedal.
Yeah.
It seems like, right? So you got a distortion, a filter,
Fuzz.
fuzz. Is this exciting? There's a whole bunch of virtual guitar pedals that you can plug into your Ableton or whatever DAW you're using.
Right.
Is this really exciting to anybody?
I think it'd be sick for bass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely for
Yeah.
I can
layering
definitely,
bass.
hear it on that, for
Layering
sure.
bass lines and
Yeah.
things. Because I use like different VSTs and stuff like that for layering. Like if I take one bass sound or I have one bass line, I just keep layering that and reprocessing
Yes.
it and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. And I can just use those to, make it sound good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You make it sound
In
way,
simpler
Simple
terms,
way more doper.
make it way, very, very, way more louder.
way more louder and way more doper.
Dang.
So yeah, I'm excited to check that out to see
Yeah.
what kind of cabinets they're emulating and
Yeah.
what type of
I'm curious if
amps
they're going to
emulating.
add more effects into what's basically a multi-effect, right?
I
Like,
think so. Yeah.
It's going to be like version 2 and you get another 3.
Yeah.
You get a vibrato or
Yeah.
something, you know?
That'd be
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
That'd be
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
No, I do think they will. Like, they added a lot of new stuff in this update, but I suspect they have, maybe other guitar pedals or something like
On the way.
on the way. Yeah, and I don't know, just sweeten it up a little bit more too. But pedal is cool, but it sounds great on guitar, great on synths, like
Yes.
lead synths.
Yes.
But I haven't used it on a lot else, like drums. It's like a little too much sometimes. Vocal, same thing. It's like a little too hard.
It's kind of like I have
so-
some guitar pedals that I use in the studio for synths mostly. It's what
Yeah.
they're for, right? Just to get some weird kind of sounds into
Yeah.
synths, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's like guitar. You plug a guitar in, it sounds great. So,
We're all making
yeah.
dance music. No one's plugging a guitar.
Yeah.
Actually, that's why
Let's be
I
real.
don't have a lot of
Who has a guitar
input
here?
on this topic.
Nobody has a guitar.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Shouts to Slayer.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what Slayer is.
Yeah.
If you don't, it's a guitar simulation.
It's
VST.
Ableton's new guitar simulation.
Totally. Yeah.
Sample packs.
Okay, so those are the. Is there anything else? Am I missing anything as far as instruments or effects go? That's it.
That's
right?
about it, yeah.
That's
Pretty
it. That's
straightforward,
it
yeah.
for the
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
The main ones,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's go on to just some workflow things, which I think for people like us who've been using DAWs for a long time, that's to me almost the stuff that's more exciting. Like there's always more plugins, there's always more synths. Like you use the stuff, you find the stuff they're going to use. Maybe some of this will fit into that, maybe some of it won't. But those workflow things can change They can save you so much time and make things so much easier. The first thing we're going to talk about is capture.
Capture.
Which I know you're excited about.
I love it.
I said this before. It's Facebook. Ableton is Facebook. It's spying on us all the time.
Big brother.
And it knows everything we're doing.
Yeah.
Get the Reynolds wrap.
And it knows that whack
Tinfoil hat.
drum rack that you just made that nobody's going to like because it sounds bad.
Yeah.
It knows now. And it's collecting that data.
Uploaded to SoundCloud.
Uploading your whack drum racks to SoundCloud without your knowledge.
60 million plays. You're
my
playing
gosh.
Ultra next month. Congratulations.
Wow.
You made it.
Sending it to labels for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yo, fam.
You did it.
Well, that's not really capture, but yeah, we're heading there.
What is capture, Gabe?
Well, let's say you're at the studio or you're on the bus, and you're sketching ideas and you're playing on your little keyboard, and you're just like, oh, that was such a cool little line or cool little chord I played, but I forgot what it was, or like I can't do it again. You can hit a button and Ableton will just show you what you played in the last few bars.
So
Sweet.
My
Yeah.
first question is, how long is capture running? What's the length of time that it's spying on you?
That's something I've been testing because some of the music I play, I like to play really long phrases, 16 bar loops where it's a very unique set of 16 bars.
Yes.
And sometimes it doesn't catch all that.
Okay.
It will actually remember it, but I have to then essentially what it does is it gives you a really long clip with information of what you played for the last 32 bars or so, and then it just highlights the last two into a loop.
Okay.
So you get a 2-bar loop.
But you can move the loop down.
Yeah, you can adjust it and
phrase.
drag it back.
Okay.
Yeah. So I never lose my ideas, luckily, but yeah, it'll kind of try to format it. I think they should make a setting where you can set the default hey, I like to play long, captures, or I want to do a short capture or something like that.
I would guess that it probably has something to do with how much RAM is in your computer, how long.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, usually it probably
Yeah.
just runs it the same way that you do recording time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have
long can do this for.
But
4 hours.
Here's the most powerful thing though. It's if you open up an empty session in Ableton, you haven't set the BPM, you've just loaded a drum rack, and maybe you got some pads and you're kind of jamming out something.
Yeah.
So regardless of the tempo, you hit capture, it'll read the tempo and lock everything onto the grid and change your tempo for you.
Change your master tempo.
The master tempo for you.
That's
awesome.
very
That's
dope.
It's so
Yeah,
cool.
That
very
is
useful.
very,
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
very dope.
Yeah.
Lots of times
Sweet.
I'll play a line or something,
Yeah.
and once again, none of us are musicians.
Yeah.
In the context of
Speak for yourself.
play.
Yeah.
None of us can play. None of us can play keyboards super well or guitar or anything.
Yeah.
So.
Not Brandon.
I'm gonna play this line. You're the best, I think, out of the four of us. But
Yeah.
I'll play a
for real.
line, and then I'll write drums, and I'm like, but now the tempo of the drums that I'm doing is go with that line, and I'm trying to
Exactly.
redo it. So that's
cool.
very dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
It-
useful.
It helps you a lot, and what's interesting for me is that I've been catching myself playing beats or playing grooves in tempos that I've usually never done, and now I'll hit capture, and I'm like, oh, this song is in 101 BPM. I never write a song in 101.
Subconsciously, you
Yeah.
want to make rap music.
You want
Yeah. So I don't know. It's cool. You find a lot of interesting ideas, and I don't know. It's great for learning as well. You get to know yourself and what kind of stuff you're into. So
Ableton.
Crystal's secretly a Moombahton producer. She just doesn't know it yet. She's gonna write some things. She's gonna be like, what? Everything's 108. What am I doing right now?
wow. Yeah. No, captures is great.
You let the secret out, Dan.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can't wait though. Eventually, hopefully they can do it with audio. If it's possible. If you're, singing a melody or something, and you can just hit capture. Because right now it's only for MIDI, right?
It's only for MIDI.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're playing guitar at home with your interface,
That's
it's not going
exciting.
to remember that. But I think eventually we'll.
But
get
if you're
there.
using your sick hardware synths, it's not recording what you're doing.
Not that, yeah. So if I usually have my main keyboard hooked up via MIDI anyway.
Okay.
So I can just send the MIDI back into it.
That was just about to ask that. I was
yeah,
you can have that set up to where it does
Exactly.
it off of MIDI anyway.
Yeah.
And then just record back in and
Yep.
Yeah.
Got it.
Recording
Perfect.
audio though with capture might take up a lot of space. And
Maybe.
So next up we have editing multiple MIDI clips.
Oh yeah.
So I was reading, and you can edit multiple clips on multiple tracks at the same time.
Yes.
Can you explain this to me?
So this is interesting because it's actually a feature I believe like other DAWs have had for a while, like FL Studio, Logic, and all that. You can just highlight multiple things, and you see, for example, you're doing a drum beat, and you're doing a bass line, so you can highlight both clips, and you can see where your kicks are, and you can see where your bass line is, and you can just work the rhythm out, and like you can reference the different clips together. You're not really like, I don't know, you're not crossing streams, but you're just using them for reference. Right?
So you can edit them so you could drag lengths back and forth like on multiple tracks, is that correct?
Yeah, but like it's more like a compositional tool. It's very visual. It's not really like you're doing multitasking at the same time. It's like I'm editing my drums, I'm editing my bass. I'm editing my keys, I'm editing my bass, and you just flip between them. Does that make sense?
Does this sound useful?
That sounds very useful.
If you have multiple MIDI tracks that you need to edit.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's only for MIDI, right?
Yeah.
So if you work a lot with that, it's great because I use, for example, like certain kind of big chords, and I like to see all the chords happening and stuff, and it gets really messy pretty fast.
Yeah.
So,
Often I'll have to take like a MIDI track, and if something's down here in my screen, I'll have to drag it up so I can.
Yeah, you can
both at
see
the same
everything.
Oh yeah, you'll want to do that.
No, you have to.
This I can just see it all at one
Yeah.
one little section.
Does it open its own window? Is it like a mode? It pops
No,
up and you're doing
it's
it?
the regular MIDI editor.
Okay.
Yeah, like Crystal said, you want to pull it up though, because Ableton's piano roll is super tiny usually.
Yeah.
So small.
Yeah.
You guys can drag that up, you just...
Well, yeah.
So here's a question. Going back to the beginning of the podcast, things that I would like Ableton to do, maybe this is covering that, is editing automation in multiple clips at the same time.
Yeah.
So let's say
for real.
We'll use MIDI. For me, audio would be preferential, but MIDI is important too. Say we have 3 clips, and I just want to change the fade out. I want to highlight these 4 clips, and I want them all to fade out the exact same amount, so I can highlight all of them and do that. Is this covered in that? Is this a thing that we can do now?
I haven't tried that exact example, but I don't think that's a thing you can do right now. It seems intuitive. Someone has to test that.
Dear Ableton.
I know.
Write a letter, Dan. Write a letter.
My Cubase that I learned on was 5.1, and I could do it in there. It was one of the most frustrating things, and I was doing almost exclusively audio editing.
Yeah.
But that was something that was so nice. Here's all these drums. I'm using these drum clips. Boop. They're all done.
Faded
the
properly.
whole thing, a whole track of them.
I know Logic did it for a minute. Logic had grouping like that, but it was so tedious because you had to like select each thing as the group.
You couldn't just highlight all of them with like
I think you could, but it was still, you had to like make sure everything was in the same group.
Yes.
And then you could adjust with one, and then it'll adjust everything.
Yeah.
But it's still like you're dealing with 5-10 clips. Some things might not line up properly, and you gotta like tedium.
Yeah. I don't know.
We don't think we can do that with this.
I don't think so. I mean, they did fix automation a little bit. Like, they made it a lot better to work with. Some people are complaining, though, that it's too rigid now.
Okay.
For example, before when you had to add an automation point in Live 9, it could be anywhere on the grid. It doesn't lock. Whereas now when you have a point you're added, it locks into the grid. So if you don't want like super tight timing, then that's kind of a problem. But if you do want tight timing,
I usually turn my grid off when I'm messing with automation anyways,
Yeah.
just because of...
you can do that, yeah. And you can like nudge it if you like tap and drag it over very slowly. You can nudge them around.
If you zoom in enough, I'm sure the grid is
Yeah,
small
yeah.
enough, but
But it's just like it snaps very fast, and it feels a little bit rigid, but
it's pretty Ableton.
yeah, it's very Ableton. Yeah.
Ableton, that was the thing I find, and you could there's no grid, there's no visual representation in
Renoise?
what's the Renoise? Yeah.
But there is.
There is.
There very much is.
Oh.
Yeah, there's like a full automation everything in Renoise, so
Does it lock the same way that Ableton does?
You can set it so it doesn't. So instead of it having it'll have like multiple points.
Yeah.
And you can set it to where it does sort of lock like that, but it still has like enough of a curve, like
And
it catches like
that.
every single decimal to where you can like switch it. But in the same manner though, like there are extra things you can add on to Renoise that'll let you just curve everything. Or you can have like they have a little mini program you can set your curves and all that stuff too. But
you can learn more about this. You can learn more about this in our everything you wanted to know about Renoise that you didn't know you wanted to know video that we'll be making.
It me.
I guess back to Ableton for a sec. That's kind of the gift and the curse I find with Ableton is it's lock to the grid. It's what makes it so easy to get into and easy to use, but it's also the thing that I think when you get super deep can be a little bit frustrating.
Yeah. You gotta learn your shortcuts really. Like turn off the grid, Command 4.
Does everyone know the curve tool?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone that's what like the big thing. If I'm sitting in the studio with someone and they're just like hitting the grid, trying to like line dot line looks like a constellation. It's like line dot. I'm like, there's a curve tool,
Yeah.
Set your point, hit Option or Control or Alt or whatever you need, and it just does the bend.
Well, and I think there's a lot to be said for mapping one knob on one thing somewhere and just letting your track play and just
just messing with
live.
Totally.
I wish. I'm sure someone makes a single
one knob.
MIDI. It's just one knob connected with the USB. You just can map it, and that's it. That's all you have.
I would really like that. I would love that.
If you know of this, can you please comment? Give us a link in the comments.
I'm sure there's a Max plugin or something like that.
Yeah.
There's got to be. Oh, just like a physical one, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
A physical one. P.S. This
is
the video.
We might have to make one,
Buy it.
Get one of those.
Okay, so edit MIDI clips, multiple MIDI clips. Solid 6 out of 10. Are we more excited about this?
Wait, which one, sorry?
The one that we were just talking about.
The
editing
multiple
MIDI clips.
yes. I think it's cool. Okay, I think it's super small feature, but it color codes now. Like your MIDI data is now color coded.
So as you record or via velocity?
So you know how usually in Live 9 it's always red. Like if you're in default mode, it's always showing red notes and stuff.
Yeah.
If your drums are now purple and your bass is blue, your notes are different colors. So again, when you're doing the multiple editing thing, when you highlight multiple clips, you can really clearly see the colors of the MIDI notes, and it's just
that's cool.
They match the colors of
your tracks,
or your clips that you've tracked.
That's really tight.
Cool.
It's super, again, just visual, and it's, I don't know, it's like, it doesn't feel like a lot is going on, but it helps you work faster.
It's very helpful.
Little things that make things better.
Yeah.
In terms of the color, Propellerhead's Reason did this, and I've not seen it in any other program since, right?
Okay.
As you record, it changes the color as you're recording. So, like, if you have a certain part, like, okay, you have the same parts, but you automate them differently, right? So, one gets automated to the point to where it's red. The other point gets automated to the point to where it's like yellow, right?
Right.
So, but you know exactly what two parts are like actually automated.
Okay.
Correctly.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Like, so as you're recording, it's basically shifting through a bunch of different colors, like through the regular color scheme.
So you can tell the color of something based on the length of the clip.
No, based on what you did to change the automation inside of that.
So if like one
clip.
section actually has automation, it's one color, and the section
So
that
let's
doesn't
say-
have
yeah,
automation,
yeah.
it's a different color.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like a filter automation in this one will be this color.
Yeah.
If you take that same filter automation and take a pin or take a point,
It'll be the same color.
it'll be a different color once you change it.
Okay.
Yeah, so as you're changing it, as you're recording, it switches the colors. So
It's almost like the intensity of the automation or the...
yeah, something like that, or just a different event happen in this clip. That's your other
That's
color.
weird, yeah.
I still don't really understand, but that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
It's really dope. It helped me a lot with workflow.
Yeah.
I think it was like Reason 3 I was using it in.
Yeah.
The year was
That's
1947.
Yeah, it was 1947.
Dang. That's awesome.
MIDI
though.
cables were 1 cent.
The price of copper, though, That's awesome, though.
Yeah, it's
that's
really dope. So it'd be
Yeah.
cool to see that inside of Ableton.
It makes me think of like in Serato or in most other DJing software, right? Like now they have the intensity of the sounds, how
Yeah.
loud stuff
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
You can
absolutely.
tell when
Like a
your
deeper
transients
color.
are, because
Yeah.
they're red, they're going to be
Yeah.
loud. You have the waveform. This whole thing's loud if somebody compressed it.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's go into the arrangement improvements. And there's a few of them. First up, we have browser collections. So this is
Yeah, I was gonna
creating...
say this is something.
You guys are excited about this?
I love it.
Please.
Thank
Elaborate.
God.
I don't know about this.
Collections. It's a very fancy word for just what are your favorite sounds? What are your favorite presets?
Oh,
Can
okay.
you believe that it's taken them 10 versions to finally
It's
let
insane.
us...
Yeah.
It's okay, like we've been able to save our presets under our user library, but it's like, okay, I'm gonna pick out this EQ that I really like, and
Okay.
it's under my user library, audio effects, EQ8, bass, and okay, there's the EQ. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's such a rabbit hole to go down every time when you want to reload that. But
Yeah.
now you can favorite and color code different effects and devices, so that you just go over to your red group or your blue group, and that's like boom. Okay, these are like
Way
All
most
the sound.
dopest based plugins.
yeah.
Exactly.
Way more louder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I got my hot fire category and then like my smooth jazz category.
Yes.
And, yeah.
No, that is very exciting, and it's insane that it took 10 versions
Yeah.
of the software to get there.
Yeah, and honestly, like with the Ableton push, it was like pulling teeth trying to find a preset, you know, because you got 8 knobs and all this stuff, and it's nice to use, but there's too many sounds. There's like
Yeah.
literally thousands of presets and devices. So something for workflow to speed it up, like having your favorite sounds right there is super handy. Yeah.
10 out of 10, Ableton.
10 out of 10, yeah. Yeah.
Next up is note chasing. So I'm not that excited about this. This is so you can play your MIDI clips,
Yeah.
and the sounds are going to start in the middle. You don't have to start at the beginning of your notation, right? So in the previous versions of Live, if you started a MIDI clip in the middle, you wouldn't hear the notes
Yeah.
until it hit the beginning of the next
Ah,
note, right?
Yeah.
So when I first started using Ableton, I found this a little frustrating, but I actually kind of found it useful for I need to start in a certain place. It's what we were talking about with the gift and the curse of the grid.
Yeah.
Start at the start,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
is this something you're excited about, anybody? Is this going to change the entire way you make music?
I don't think it's gonna change, but it's definitely less annoying.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
to be honest,
Have you
I was
noticed it
excited.
yet?
Yeah, so I was I was excited when I read about this. I'm like, oh, cool. You know, when you have a chord and some synth pad going, and it's just like for 4 bars. Now you don't have to go to the beginning, but I haven't really found a time where I'm conscious of taking this advantage. Yeah. Because I work a lot in session view, so I'm like, okay, let's just groove out and just jam and
Yeah. Start from the
once
top.
once I move over to arrangement, my ideas are already so fleshed out that I don't have to like replay the same thing over and over
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah,
so,
true.
Definitely good, but maybe like for people who strictly work in arrangement or like I don't know, just maybe
Have-
more meticulous.
Have
yeah.
37 MIDI tracks running.
That too, yeah.
Yeah,
Could be
exactly.
Very useful, yeah.
Probably good for scoring.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
what
yeah.
have you.
Yeah.
So,
But
All those people
know.
scoring blockbuster Hollywood films in Ableton are going to be really excited.
it might. Hey, you never know.
but I should say like most DAWs have had this feature forever, right? Like note chasing.
The old version of Cubase that I used before switching to Ableton, couldn't do it either.
Oh really?
It always starts from the top.
Oh really?
Yeah, you can. I mean,
Yeah.
you could technically start from the middle, but it's too many key commands.
Yeah.
Just try to do that and then try to jump to your keys.
Yeah,
You know,
it's-
try to play it. I start it from the top. And,
Yeah.
You know,
That's another thing. Yeah, like if I'm recording, I just want to start from the top anyway, right?
just start from the top,
Yeah.
play it
Exactly.
again.
Yeah.
Might as well. But I mean, I
So-
get it. It seems like a viable
Yeah.
choice for some people trying
It's
to
good. Yeah.
5 out of 10.
be. Yeah.
Next up is your in-out renaming. You can rename your in and out routing.
Very cool.
Yes?
Yeah. Have you guys
Okay.
heard of this?
it's not like a wow.
Yeah, it makes
What
sense.
do you
but I'm
mean?
like, eh. Yeah,
Well-
you can name it to
Labeling.
be like, oh, it goes to so and so.
Well,
Yeah.
here's a question for the DJs on the panel, who renames their cue points in their DJ program?
I don't rename them. No, they're just
I
there.
just know where they are.
And it's
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
right? I actually
Yeah.
do it myself,
Nice.
especially for new music that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll go chorus for if I'm playing rap music. Chorus, verse, outro, break. Like it's very easy. Then I'm playing stuff. I'm having a cocktail. I'm not that familiar with the song. It's like, mix in here, quadruple exclamation point. You know?
Yeah.
But I'm curious if that would be as useful in your in and out
Playing live.
So,
routing.
If you're doing a live set.
Oh.
That would
Because
Yeah.
it is Ableton.
Yes.
It is Ableton Live.
No,
It makes-
that is very,
Yeah. It
yeah.
makes total sense if you're doing a live set. You're like,
Totally.
okay, trigger this.
Yes.
Trigger that.
but
Flip this in. Switch this
Okay.
out. You know?
but it's only your inputs and outputs of your interface.
Is it?
That's it.
So then
That is
the
it.
wow moment.
It's not also for, like, it's in your preferences, right? This is only going to
Yeah.
be living in your preferences
In your preferences,
menu.
yeah.
So,
So that's my thing. Yeah, so that's where I was
So
gonna
it's not
mention
really
that.
like a big like, oh wow.
Yeah,
kinda
so
thing.
if you let's say you got a you got a Scarlett 18 input, 8 output thing, and you got a
Yes.
band, and you got drum mics set up on your drum kit all the time.
yes.
That's really helpful because then you got your mic drums all labeled like kick,
Gotcha.
tom, snare, and such.
Totally makes
then your
sense.
guitar channels like labeled and such. That's cool.
Stupid
But-
Steve's dumb voice.
Yeah, triangle. Yeah, but
Triangle.
Stupid Steve drums triangle.
It's got like 10 compressors on it. Like,
yeah.
If you're in that band, comment in the comments below. We
Yeah.
want to see that SoundCloud
yes, shout to all
link.
my triangle players.
We want to
in
see
the
that
band.
SoundCloud link.
Yeah. I played triangle on this Bruno Mars record.
I'm also
In
curious.
chimes, yeah.
Yo, shouts to anyone that gets a Grammy off of playing triangle off of like the
Hey,
Bruno
yeah.
Mars record.
That's
It's
some
like,
good royalties, eh? Yeah.
listen, like you're eating for life. You're a session player playing triangle.
Do you get that Grammy?
Would I?
Like,
I mean, I would
if
hide
Bruno
it.
Mars gets
I wouldn't
the
tell
Grammy-
anybody.
No, but I think if Bruno Mars gets the Grammy, the triangle player does not open a new Amazon package one day and there's his or her Grammy.
No.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh yeah, like people that were in the room. There was a guy that wrote like a ton of different hits. I
Yeah.
stayed at my roommate's I'm sorry. His roommate was a friend of mine, and
Yes.
I stayed at his place in San Francisco, and he had like plaques everywhere.
Yeah.
So, InOut Renaming is potentially exciting for some people.
Yeah.
Probably none of us.
Well, yeah.
True.
Like I mentioned earlier, like if you have a lot of inputs and you got a standard setup that you always use, it's gonna be great. But I mean, I have an interface with 4 inputs. That's it. But if I have more than 4 instruments, I'm constantly swapping things out, right? Like one day my mic could be plugged into 4, and then the next day it's just like 4 keyboards, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So the labeling thing, it doesn't work for me. Maybe if I had a lot of channels.
Yeah.
I don't know. Most people, they'll have 2 or 4 channels, so yeah. Depends what you do.
If this is useful, if we're missing something, comment in the comments below.
Yeah.
Comment
Cool.
in the comments. That's what you
Comments in the comment section.
Yeah.
So then, dun, 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 last thing, but definitely not least, subgroups.
Ah.
Yay.
About time.
We haven't talked about this yet.
Well,
We touched on it.
We
I said
touched on it
groups
a
within
bit.
groups.
Oh,
but
okay,
still,
okay.
like
Okay. I guess, that we haven't.
that is extremely important.
It's just,
I want that in like every DAW that I ever
Yeah.
deal with in my life.
I've been complaining about it since the moment I started using Ableton, so
yeah.
if you ever have to make music with me, thank you, Ableton, because no one will have to hear those complaints anymore.
Yeah, that's, I don't know. I mean, I've been beta testing for 2 months now since before the release, and I can't look back to having one group. It's just,
Yeah.
it's like being in the dark.
Yeah.
Real.
Yeah.
The program I use definitely does have subgroups.
Yeah.
But yeah, to have it in, like I said, to have it in Ableton is just like
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Are you
Yeah.
Italian?
Yeah.
For you, Crystal, this is a thing you've never had.
No,
And
haven't.
can you think of things where you will be using it? Is this something that's exciting for you?
Yeah, more organizational, I guess, things, and just making it look neater and cleaner, groups within groups, and
Yeah.
For
it's
real.
just gonna make so much more space to work
Yeah.
with.
Well, and your signal paths, it's so
that too, yeah.
it makes so much sense. I'm so happy.
Right?
It's quite a relief. No, and seriously, like if you're layering a lot of stuff like drums and,
Yeah,
and different
exactly.
sounds, now you can actually process like your snares all together and then your claps and then those together and then that and then
Yeah.
just make a tree, a happy
And then put your drum
tree.
bus at the end.
Yeah.
Of all
Yeah.
your subgroups.
And there you
It's
go.
the star on the Christmas
Yes,
tree.
totally.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
actually in tandem with those subgroups for me is just
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
It's proper.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
hard,
you.
yeah.
10 out of 10 Ableton.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
It's been a rough road. You don't realize until you finally have like all these features. You're like, oh, yeah.
You don't know what you got
It shows up
until it shows
in the next update.
until it finally shows up.
So it shows up in the next update? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So that is the main features. That's everything. Am I missing anything? Is there anything that you have found? Any?
There's one thing that I'm excited to try once
Yes.
I get 10. The feature where you can actually export as an MP3 now.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of people
I wasn't aware of
they
this.
can.
Yeah.
A lot of people like they're looking for ways to convert from like a WAV or an AIF to AIFF to an MP3 without going through iTunes or whatever. Still keeping that quality. So now
That
you can
one
do that
step.
directly in Ableton.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my nerd glasses on here for a second.
Yeah.
The Fraunhofer MP3 license is $15,000 a year
Oh.
Okay.
because it's still a license.
Oh.
Probably more.
But now it's not anymore because they stopped doing it, right? So hence Ableton doesn't.
Right, that makes
There's
sense.
no more support.
There you go.
They've
Okay.
stopped.
Yep, because
Yes.
now MP3 is a natural like a different protocol for the internet, or like a standard protocol
Yes,
for the
it's,
internet. I mean,
it's what do you call it?
is it Creative Commons now? No, that's not it.
Public,
Don't quote me.
public,
It's a
public domain.
Public domain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Interesting.
before that, yeah, it was like $15,000 or something a year to keep that
Whoa.
license.
I think a company as large as Ableton can shell out the 15 grand a year, so all of our SoundCloud homies can pump that export directly into SoundCloud.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair,
No, make them work.
they
All right?
had.
It keeps less. It keeps less of the.
You know what I do? I export
work.
things, and then that's the only thing I really use my old Cubase for is I'll throw it in a Cubase to export it out.
Yeah.
Switch it from a wave. I throw the wave in there, and then I'll export it out into an MP3 for
Yeah.
like a mix. You know, for me
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
perfect thing. You're doing
Yeah.
a DJ mix. You're doing
Oh, yeah.
some sort of mix. I don't need a wave file of that mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm throwing it up somewhere. I need a 320. That's
Yeah.
all I need. A
No,
FLAC
that's cool.
at best. Is there FLAC support?
I don't think.
I don't think so.
I
They
don't
didn't
think there's
say
FLAC
no.
support
No.
at all. No.
That would be
No.
nice. Ableton.
There you go.
I don't
But
know.
Oh, but FLAC is proprietary. It's Apple.
No.
Right? No, not anymore.
AIFF is. FLAC is open
Right.
source. The
Yes.
internet. It's
Yeah.
FLAC is for all.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
got my acronyms all mixed up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
FLAC is
FLAC
for the people.
FLAC is for the people.
Yeah,
FLAC
yeah.
is for the people.
That's the
Yeah.
name of the episode. FLAC for the people.
That is useful. It's
So I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
it would have been a lot more useful
Yeah. Before.
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
It just
7, 8
eliminates
years
like
ago.
that extra step, you know.
Yes. Is there any more file formats that are added? Do we know?
So
No.
I think it's just your
73s.
standard like AIFF
Yeah.
and your wave and
MP3.
Now MP3
Yeah.
support. Now lame MP3 encoding.
Lame.
That is not lame. That's wonderful.
I still use waves, but you know, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but you don't need.
You don't have to. You need a third party app
or
or
Yeah.
iTunes
of your DJ
anymore.
mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need something like that. That's too large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Even for referencing, like if I want to
Totally,
reference a
just for
track in the
referencing.
car or whatever, like you just spit out an MP3, I put it on my Google Drive, and now
Yeah.
it's on my phone.
Yes.
But before, when it was waves, it was
Yes.
like, okay, now my phone has to load like 50 megabytes of whatever.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
it's like 3. So.
But I want to reference that
Yeah.
MP3 just
That too.
for referencing.
No,
I
yeah,
wanna hear
exactly.
a 128 on
Yeah.
your MacBook
Yeah.
speakers. I want to hear what that sounds like
Right.
because that's
Exactly.
what a lot of people obviously are going to
Yeah,
hear,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Anything else?
It's pretty much, yeah. It's the big ones, I think. I mean, yeah, no, that's the big ones.
Okay. Well, thanks for speaking with me today about Ableton Live 10.
My
It's
pleasure.
always a pleasure. All
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah.
Would you like to promo your social medias and whatnots before we say goodbye?
Go for it.
Just search Cloves on Google, Kloves, and you should see my face somewhere.
We'll throw links in the...
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we've got the subtitles and
Yeah, it's all there.
annotations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeremy?
So, you can find me at Sinistar_313 on Twitter and Instagram. And you can also Google Sinistar. Everything's up there.
Yeah.
Like SoundCloud,
He's all over
If you
the
wanna
Bandcamp,
know-
iTunes.
If you want to
Yeah.
know anything more about anything we spoke about today, Google.
Don't listen to us. Use
Ouch.
Google.
Yeah.
What do we know?
I'm not. Yeah.
We'll edit
I
that
only
out.
know Ableton. I don't know.
Yeah. We know nothing.
Ableton
Yeah.
does not yet have Google support.
Yeah. Well.
Google,
Fat kicks.
Google is not supported inside Google.
How do
Google
I
search.
make this compressor very, very, way more louder?
Way more louder and much more doper.
Much more doper.
Fatter. Yeah.
It's got the paperclip of a dude with a backward hat. You know, like the Microsoft Word paperclip.
What Clippy?
What?
Yeah, Clippy.
Clippy.
Clippy comes
Whoa.
out, but it's like,
Like modern.
it's a SoundCloud bro with like clout glasses.
Oh my goodness.
SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Dang.
Anyway,
Well.
I'll take this over. Gabe,
All right.
what's your social media?
I'm on some social medias. You can find my website by Fortuna. So that's BYFORTUNA.com. You'll find the links for Facebook, Instagram, YouTube's, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Sounded like you didn't know how to spell it there. You were like,
Yeah, I'm like, how do you write? Yeah.
Nobody writes anymore.
where are
We
you?
type.
Clippy.
Yeah.
Help me.
Clippy, help
Hey.
me write.
What's up, player?
pen.
What do you need today?
We're spoiled with
Want to buy some lights?
Spell check. And
spell check. Yeah, autocorrect. Like I live by that. I'm just like I put 3 words in or 3 letters in, and it's like, yep, that one, and then 3 letters, and yeah, that one, and just yeah,
we're getting more dumb.
yeah.
Ableton is getting smarter. We are getting dumber.
dumber.
And on that note, bye.
Bye.